I think it's pretty safe to say that when we look at the Skywalker saga as a whole, all 9 movies, the true face of the Star Wars franchise really is, of course, Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, that is one thing that a lot of people are very interested about when it comes to this movie, is exactly how JJ is going to tie everything into the prequel trilogy era, and what kind of cameos will actually make their way into Episode 9. And how they will move the sequel trilogy characters forward. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Kylo Ren and Anakin Skywalker. Specifically, a description of Kylo Ren inside of a cave that is said to have glowing blue crystals. The next goes over a rear shot of Kylo staring at a cloaked figure in a black robe, which leads to a close-up described to be Anakin Skywalker, however, said to be a mixture between both old and young with a glowing blue eye. It's implied that this is the hybrid Force ghost created by J.J. Abrams of Anakin. Another goes over Kylo approaching the figure and following Anakin that is said to be guiding Kylo through the Lost City. Additionally, it's described that Kylo hears distant voices of Anakin as he follows the figure. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that are really getting me very intrigued about Episode 9. Of course, when it comes to the hybrid Force ghost, which I know a lot of you guys out there, by the way, are either all about that idea or are not about that idea. It's something that was created by JJ in The Force Awakens that never made it to the final cut of the movie, that he is now transferring on over into Episode 9. So the hybrid Force ghost, first things first, I want to go over where Kylo Ren is. Now, the mention of the Lost City, we've been hearing about the Lost City for the longest time now. We do know that the Lost City was an original environment in Episode 7 that also never made it to the final cut that is now going to be in Episode 9. It's basically a location that holds a lot of secrets and a lot of artifacts and relics of the Jedi and Sith, where both Rey and Kylo Ren will eventually end up going to. So this Anakin Skywalker hybrid Force ghost type of thing that's appearing in front of Kylo Ren, guiding him through the Lost City, it really does make you wonder exactly what Kylo Ren is looking for inside of the Lost City. Is he looking for more clues about his grandfather, or exactly what the actual dark side consists of? Maybe he's trying to learn more powers, for all we know. We're not quite sure exactly why Kylo Ren is actually taking an adventure and or a quest into the Lost City of Episode 9. So the next thing that I do want to go over is, of course, how Anakin Skywalker is going to be a mixture between both old and young in this particular sequence in the form of a hybrid Force ghost. Something that a lot of fans, I believe, are going to have a hard time actually accepting. Because if you think of Anakin Skywalker, you do think about him as the Force ghost that we saw at the very end of course, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So now in Episode 9, JJ is basically inserting 2 different types of Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost. You have the regular one, and of course you have the hybrid Force Ghost, which basically is like a shape-shifting version, where it can basically be a mixture between both Vader and Anakin, or even a mixture between both old and young, with, of course, the elements of Vader being involved at the same exact time, which is exactly what we saw in The Last Jedi, or should I say in The Force Awakens, of course, visual dictionary, where we got to get our first look at that never made it to the finalized version of the movie. So with that being said, I want to go over the blue glowing eye, yet another thing from Episode 7. So I'm not quite sure why the eye is actually described to actually have like this blue glare to it, while it stares at Kylo Ren and while Kylo Ren is staring back at the hybrid Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker based within the Lost City in this actual movie. Now, we're not quite sure exactly what planet this really is, other than the fact that the Lost City contains a lot of Jedi and Sith lore and secrets to both the first Jedi and the first Sith, as we actually went over a couple of days ago. Now, lastly, I want to go over J.J. Abrams. Now, we do know that J.J. loves the character of Anakin Skywalker, and he really wants to bring in a lot of his ideas from Episode 7 into Episode 9. It has often been described that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of those elements from Episode 7's, alright, visual dictionary, or the art book, if you will, that actually were not able to make it to the finalized version of that movie. So how do I feel about an Anakin Skywalker hybrid Force Ghost that's a mixture between both old and young, and also having elements of the Darth Vader mask embedded in his skin? Now, this to me, it sounds very dark, and it sounds like something that would be very sinister to the character of Kylo. And I believe that Kylo is in, of course, the Sith part of the Lost City. Like I say, the Lost City is basically half Jedi stuff, half Sith-related stuff. And you can see why there's a great chance that Anakin Skywalker is viewed differently between both light side users and dark side users. It's very possible that through the eyes of Kylo, he sees, this version of Anakin Skywalker, and through the eyes of Rey, she sees a different version of Anakin Skywalker. It only makes sense. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.